You decided in your mind, I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm going to share my deepest, darkest thoughts. And this so-and-so said what they said. And now you like, see, you whoop-de-whoop and whoop-de-whoop.
This is why I should keep
This is
my
why.
mouth closed
Mouth
in the
shut.
first place.
And now it has created fear inside of you. Welcome to another episode of Soul Shift Sessions podcast, where we have deep, transformative conversations to help you transform your mind to transform your life. I'm your favorite freedom and financial wellness coach, Coach Sapphire Starr. And of course, I have with me my favorite co-host, Coach
Kyle McCloud, better known
and
as Coach Sidekick. Riding
we
the
need like
side,
the
my
sound
baby.
effects.
Riding the side. In back, relax.
Cruising.
You probably
While I'm
driving
just,
crazy as hell too, but it is what it is.
I got you though. I got you.
We taking a
You're
turn on,
gonna arrive. Yeah, you're gonna arrive alive and in one piece. I promise.
and when we turn, that wheel might kick up a little bit on the turn, but you just hold on.
Hold on, brother. If you ain't learned nothing else,
I don't think those things
hold
come with
on.
seatbelts either. So that
You have a helmet on, so you're good.
I'm
So
all
if you
right.
fly out, you're protected. You're
Mm.
good. But I got you though. That's
I
the
believe
that's
that.
the relationship and trust relationship we have.
I
That
believe every bit of that.
I'm thinking about you while I'm driving in chaos. But it's organized chaos. It's organized chaos.
Yeah.
Where we help you organize your finances to organize your life. I'm just saying.
And whatever other craziness comes your way.
It all applies. Like we create a template, and that template, those habits, those everyday goals that you set for yourself to achieve whatever you want to achieve is a part of developing. And it transcends money, relationships, work, professional, business. It all transcends, it all works together. It's the foundation of creating the character of who you are. That's what I believe, ultimately. And I feel like we believe that at Soul Shift Sessions too, because Soul Shifters, we always say, like, if you want to be a part of the conversations, you want to be a part of the ecosystem that we call Soul Shift Sessions, we want you to go to www.soulshiftsessions.com, join the tribe, become a guest, and also make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We're also on Instagram. You can follow us at Soul Shift Sessions on Instagram. Join the party. It's always a good time here, especially today.
Always a good
Always a good time. And today we're continuing a conversation that we had last week, which is season 2, episode
17.
Right, no,
18.
sir. It's 18.
I'm just trying to get squeeze another episode out of you. That's what it sounds like I'm trying to do.
And let me be short because honestly, in my mind, I feel like it, and I told myself that I was going to have this before we got on. Shame on me. It's actually 19. Season 2, episode 19, where we relationship talk in part 1 Q&A. And it's also a continuation of season 2, episode 18, where we talk about relationship rewrites and navigating communication and change in a relationship. And so we asked the guests on 18 and listeners to, not guests, we asked listeners to send us questions that they may have for us to answer. And we did that on episode 19.
We did.
And so today is part 2 of the relationship talk of the Q&A. Yes.
All right.
And I'm super excited as always. So are we just going to jump right into this?
We're going to jump right in. And I think that I'm going to give the first question is because Oh,
Senor.
in your head, Soul Shifters, play the Strawberry Letter 23 song like at the Steve Harvey Morning Show. Just play that in your head. Like I don't think we can legally play it online, so just
No.
have it in your head. I'm scared to express my true desires because I was judged in the past. How do I overcome that fear?
Whew. That's a great question. It's a real question. And I do firmly believe a lot of us may be struggling with that, especially if you put yourself out there and it was met with resistance. You decided in your mind, I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm going to share my deepest, darkest thoughts. And this so and so said what they said. And now you like, see, you whoop de whoop and whoop de whoop.
This is why I should keep
This is
my
why.
mouth closed
Mouth
in the
shut.
first place.
And now it has created fear inside of you. And fear, especially when it comes to communication, that's not a good combination. It's not a good combination to be in a relationship or a situationship, whatever you got going on, and feeling like you're afraid to share your thoughts. And I do believe, to answer this question, I do believe we first have to deal with ourselves.
Yeah.
Because we first have to say, well, why is someone not agreeing or rejecting my thoughts make me fearful? Why is that causing me to shut down? Because again, I talked about that in the last episode and this is something that I had to learn, that I had to be okay with being vulnerable. I had to be okay with sharing my thoughts and sharing my feelings without an expectation of someone feeling the same way or responding the way I want to, not owning the response and being okay with it. And maybe the best thing is once you kind of figure out where that is coming from, where you automatically feel fearful now because you shared and was rejected one time, dealing with that. And then again, I think you said this last week with, okay, leading with, hey, I said something last time and it was met with resistance, or it what you said made me feel. I think it's important to set it up like that, because that could have very well not been that person's intention. It could have just been like, I ain't with it, and you interpreted it a certain kind of way. And so leading with, hey, that made me feel this kind of way. And, I would really love to share more with you, but not feel like I'm going to be shut down. So creating the space around, and like we talked about timing last week too, around being able to share, but leading with how you felt from the last time you shared something, and then just going right into it and giving the person, we talked about this too, the benefit of the doubt.
A very, we'll say, a close topic for me. Close. Because when you are choosing to be vulnerable, you're also choosing to be courageous. And when you're choosing to be courageous and it is shut down, rejected, any of the other words, DIS, whatever, right? If it falls under that category where it was not met with empathy and love and understanding.
Yeah.
It's not met with those things. And it is heartbreaking. And so when that happens, I feel like you automatically go right back into the shell, like the turtle does. It's like, oh, it's dangerous out here. Let me go back.
It's dangerous. I love that. I love that picture that you created. Yeah, I love the visual. Like, oh, it's not safe out here.
It's not safe out here. But so there's a couple things. One is, who is the person that you're being vulnerable with? Because you can't do that with everybody, right? And not only can you not do it with everybody, there might be that person that you think you can, based off of a bunch of supporting factors, and then find out
Can't.
which is also probably even more heartbreaking, because you feel like you did all the research, he, he went down the checklist of all the things, and then turns out that this person you can't be vulnerable with. So the question is, how do I overcome that fear? And I think the answer is you continue to be courageous and you
Mm.
learn. Like every time you choose courage and choose vulnerability, and those are not met with what you feel you needed in that time, and you now have some new data that this person ain't the person.
Yeah.
And we all, I feel I think we all need at least one person that we can be vulnerable with. And like you have a whole community of people around you, right? That you can be vulnerable in different ways.
Yeah.
Right.
I have
It's
many tribes.
be vulnerable in this category with this person. Am I gonna be vulnerable with this person in this category? But you created this like, safe space for yourself. And not everyone has done that. And, some of us might be happy if we can just have one somebody that we can be vulnerable with. Person actually can hold that vulnerability. But one, you have to watch who you be vulnerable with. And two, um, not everyone has earned the right to have access to your vulnerability. So you have to be careful about like who you're being vulnerable with, and has that person actually earned it? Um, Heck, have you earned it? Somebody
With them.
else, there are some people that, because of the nature of who you are, they may just feel naturally inclined to be vulnerable with you. And because you have had training and you know what that is, you might be able to hold that person's vulnerability, put you in the first place, but you know what it does if you reject it. You like take care of it the way it needs to be taken care of. Um, and you might even be able to communicate, like, well, that isn't really for me. Like, I get why you shared that with me. And you can be all empathetic, but let them know, like, hey, I'm probably not the person that
Not the one.
I'm probably not the one, but you and I think we're at a place where we can let someone know that we're not the one. But I don't think it's necessarily in the opposite, where people know that they're not the one until they find out that that person's not the one. But from a fear perspective, it's natural to want to be like the turtle and say like, "Oh, it's dangerous out there. I'm not gonna do that anymore." But the more times you choose to be courageous, the bigger your impact is on the circles around you. And
Mhm.
so, I mean, somebody could say like, "Well, I don't want to make it. I just want everything to be the way it is, and so on and so forth," and that's fine. But I have a feeling that there are probably more of us, at least in this community, that want to make an impact either in the circles that we're in or even globally. And so, if you are on that path of wanting to be an impact on any level, you got to keep choosing courage. And part of choosing courage is choosing to be vulnerable. When you see someone on the stage and they share a vulnerable story, you automatically are drawn. You're sucked
Yeah.
in, you know? But I'm gonna tell you, that person that is able to get up on the stage and be vulnerable on the stage, they had to work their way up to being that way. They didn't just automatically come on stage being vulnerable. They had to work through that. And so I would say that anytime your vulnerability is rejected, that is another stepping stone for you to making that type of impact that you want to make.
Yeah. It's getting you one step closer. Right. And I love, because a few words came to mind when you were speaking just now. It was discernment. That's what I hear you saying, having discernment in who you're choosing to be vulnerable with. But in protecting your vulnerability with who you're choosing to be vulnerable with, and in making those discernment decisions. And when you talked about the turtle, I thought about self-preservation and the inclination to
Yeah.
do that when we thinking about self. And most importantly is the choosing. That is what stands out the most to me. Like, because it lets you know that you're in control. You have control over your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, but you don't have control over others.
Mhm.
But there is something very powerful about choosing to do things independent of, again, what you think the outcome should be, because it's making you a better person. It's making you a more powerful person, a more impactful person, because you decided in that moment that I'm going to choose me. And I feel like when you choose you first, you can't go wrong, because when you choose you, and you not only make, yourself a better person for yourself, but you make yourself better for the people that are around you, the people that rely on you, the people that you're impacting, when you're choosing. And I feel like maybe I'm speaking to myself right now.
Or me, or me.
I feel like I'm talking like, it's amazing how you can have conversations when they're like directed toward others, but when it comes to yourself, you're like, I don't know what to do. It's not so clear. I don't know why that. What is
That is
that?
so my life. That is so life.
Like, what is that?
I have an idea what that is, and I'll use an analogy. The coach, the coach's job is to see and say, right? See what's happening and say what's good. Communicate that to the player, right? And the coach is committed to the player's commitment, supposedly, right? So whatever the player's committed to, that's what the coach is also committed to, right? And so, uh, when we do that, that doesn't mean that we're necessarily ready to get on that field with them, right? The football coach is not trying to get on the
They're
field
not on the field.
and throw the football. Like, he doesn't necessarily have the ability. He might be too old. He might be not athletic enough. Right? Like, he is not a professional player. He is the coach, right? And so
Yeah.
we are able to see what others are bringing to us from a player standpoint, and we are able to coach them around the game that they're playing, because we're on the outside looking in. We can see things that the player can't always see because the player is too busy in it. And we are not in it, we are looking at it, as well as all the
Mm.
other factors that are happening around, right? Because the coach is looking at the other team as well and looking at what the other team is doing. The player might be doing that, but he's also trusting that the coach is looking at everything that's going on, so you can fill him in on what to do for her, right? And so I think that's the reason why we can be really good at helping others. But for ourselves, we ourselves most likely should have, or probably would benefit from, having someone that's on the outside of our lives
Yeah. Yeah.
that's looking.
You're right.
For me, it's my therapist.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is can see all those things and tell me, what and show me what I'm missing. But I do believe that we all need somebody, whether it's a therapist, whether it's a coach, whether it's a mentor, like we all need someone who is on the outside that is able to look at the game that
Look
we're
in.
playing.
Yeah. And I feel like I have all those in my life. I have coaches, mentors, therapists. Well, previously, I don't have a therapist now, but I've had therapy before. And you're right, that makes a lot of sense. And so, and I think that's also too, I think that's why this podcast is important to me, because we do provide a platform for others to share their stories, to empower others,
Mhm.
but a sounding board for those who may have the questions in their heads, that may, like, some they asking us the questions now, and having a avenue, an outlet to be able to get things out from, and get that perspective from someone else who's on the outside. looking in and just listening to it and also feeling like, hey, I'm not alone when I'm feeling these things. I think that's a huge part of it too with the self-preservation. Like, oh, I don't want to be out here just feeling like this alone, and then you just shut down. So I think that's the Soul Shift Session podcast can also provide that for people that don't necessarily have that by giving tools and resources and opportunities for people to be able to get those things out and to receive as well.
You have this thing where we talk for the podcast, we talk during the podcast, and we talk outside the podcast, right? And all of those things, those conversations do have an impact on me. And
Yeah.
and you've heard, we had this conversation yesterday about me questioning about what I want versus what I don't want. And am I wrong for not wanting the things that I don't want? Right. And um, you act as a sounding board in those instances for me, which is why I do this. I should say I continue to do this because I do get those random moments where it's like, I saw your podcast and that stuff that you and Sapphire were talking about made a huge difference for me.
Yeah.
And when that
I
happens,
love those.
when it
Yeah.
happens on the street, I'm
Yeah.
like, I didn't even know you were watching. Half the time, I don't know if anybody is watching, right? Because that's not really where getting viewers and building all that up is, I feel like it will happen organically. It's not something that I'm trying to force to happen.
That's not our motivation. Yeah.
It's not the motivation, right? Because for me, the conversation that you and I have is valuable enough for me to do this at the very least once a week,
Yeah.
because I get to hear some of your insights and it is impactful. So if anything, you and I have a weekly commitment to pour into each other.
Same.
We do it
It's
every
like we're
day.
creating our own therapy,
Right,
right?
right. We do it every day. This is the designated day where we get to pour into each other and share some insights. And I remember, like, I think I sent you something on social media about, like, I don't want no small talk. Like, I want to talk about, like, things that your fear,
Aliens and
aliens
the
and
universe. Like, it's like
like, I want to talk
how
about,
it impacts us. Yes.
like, those are the things that I want to talk about, right? Like, I'm so tired of chit chat. Not people in my life that's what they need from me, right? They need the small talk because,
Yeah.
there's so much missing already that this is like one of their lifelines. So I'm just letting you know that I do small talk with certain people, but it's not like the thing that I do it as a support, not as a need for me, you know.
Same. Absolutely same. I think we're definitely similar in that way. And it's so interesting when you talked about the podcast and people telling you that, hey man, what you guys talked about made a difference in my life. Or when I read the comments and people are sharing, just in the comment section about, man, that was right on, that was spot on. Or even like in my tribe and circles, it's so funny to me when I hear people say, man, Kyle said something, and it's almost like they know you. Right? It's almost as
Like,
if
neither of them ever
they
shared this with me before. So I had no idea this is
yeah,
happening.
they're like, no. Yeah. So they're like, man, Kyle. And it's so interesting because they're talking as if they know you
Right.
and they've only heard you
Yeah.
on the podcast, but they heard us on the podcast. And when
Right.
I hear that, I'm like, man, that's so dope to me. That is probably far more rewarding than anything else that we can get. And not necessarily more than us being able to impact one another, but just that is like maybe like the number two is just hearing those people giving us those feedback. That's why we appreciate the comments, the feedbacks, the emails. We really do appreciate that because our motivation is like we always say, if one of us are in change or impact, then we won. So
Right.
to be able to impact others as a result of impacting each other, like we're successful. That's success for us.
That is success. Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
you heard me say yesterday about, I don't really like the concept of me being celebrated on a larger scale.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
but if you share with me how I made a difference in anything in your life, whether it's your life as a whole or if it's just an aspect of your life, those things are gold to me because it's
Yeah.
like it's confirmation that what you're doing matters.
Matters.
It's confirmation. And so
Yeah.
I live for those comments of what impact I have had on you. When I say you, I mean obviously Sapphire, but I mean if anyone I'm in conversation with, if I have an impact on them, you tell me about it, and that is confirmation that I'm on the right path, but that I'm doing the right thing, or doing something that matters. But I don't
Yeah.
want to
Yeah.
be. I have zero desire to be celebrated on a large scale. We don't need to throw me like a huge birthday bash. We don't need to do any of that. None of that. It was weird because like I'll celebrate someone else to them.
Right. Turn up. Like you said, you
Right.
don't want to be the center of attention.
Mm-mm.
Like you don't want the focus to be solely on you. And in those scenarios and environments, it's about you. So the attention is on
Right.
you constantly. I
But you pull me
definitely
to the side and say, I just want to tell you about
yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Oh, it warms my heart to know it. Are you ready for the next question?
I'm ready.
All right. What's the best way to have hard conversations without losing intimacy or connection?
The best way to have a hard conversation, honestly, in my mind, I'm pretty good at compartmentalizing in terms of I can separate the two in the sense of having a conversation over here and intimacy and what's the other word you use? Connection is over here. And I think this goes back to everything we just said before about, okay, who are you having this conversation with? What's the relationship? Because I believe that there's a solid foundation of love, mutual love and respect laid out. I believe you can have these difficult conversations without feeling like the love is going to be lost, because is it really there to begin with if just having a conversation that there may be a disagreement, And so I think it's just important to first establish and decide, okay, who am I having this conversation with? Do we have that type of relationship? And
Mhm.
maybe just understanding of the person that you are talking to and understanding like what is their communication style and type, because I think we could take the hard off of it. It was like, okay, we're having a conversation. Because I think when we lead with it was going to be a hard conversation, and it may be difficult. It may be something that may be challenging, but we just lead with, listen, we're going to have a conversation about how I feel about something, and you may or may not agree or disagree. And I think it's okay also to not agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that really the end of the world if you're having a conversation? The person was like, well, I'm not really
Yeah. Well, it's when the
like, why are we on?
disagreement it's when the disagreement is tied to the quality of our relationship. I think that's where the problem is. You and I can be on two different sides of an issue, and we know that it has zero effect on the quality of our relationship. And I'm talking about you and I specifically, right?
Yeah.
And definitely we have the ability to do that. I'm not going to think any different of you. Now, I mean, obviously, if you started supporting like, things that go against human rights, we might have a problem, right? Like, like if you ready to deport the person next to you just because they standing next to you, like you would have like a problem, right? So yeah, there are some boundaries there, right? But at the same
Yeah.
time, I think that if you and I are in a place where we still believe the best in each other. We still believe that we're both doing the best that we can. And we still believe that there's nothing malicious behind your intent and there's nothing malicious behind my intent. Then whatever that tough conversation is, we can have it. One thing you said ahead of time that I think is important, which is you preface the conversation. You don't
Yeah.
just, you didn't just jump in there. And
Jumping.
I think that that's important, is prefacing ahead of time about what the intention is and what you want to do and your objective in this particular conversation that you're about to have with them. Because if you just blindside them, then what happens is that person automatically goes on the defensive because they're
Defense.
designed to go on the defensive. And then once they go on the defensive, well, now I'm listening for everything that you're saying that's right and everything that you're saying that is true, but is really a false, right?
Yeah.
Like everything that you said, I said that I know I didn't say. Now I'm on the defense. Now I'm feeling like you're attacking me. And now I feel like I got to defend myself in the conversation. And it's not like I'm doing it consciously. This is just the series of things that are happening that I know are going to happen because I'm able to look back and see all those things and express it in this conversation. But at the same time, when you are blindsided, it's like you go into your automatic programming. Whatever
It's
that
fight or flight.
it's what and however it looks like for you, right? So I'm either
Yeah.
going to run or and then there's how
Tussle.
you did it, right? Like did you call me up and say, "Hey, I want to have a conversation about this," or did you send me a text message?
Yeah.
And in the text message, I'm thinking about how, or I'm hearing the text message in your voice, but I'm also imagining your tone. Your tone may not be something that is a tough tone. It may be conversational. It may be lighthearted. But in a text message, I don't know that. All
Yeah.
I see are the words. And so I'm putting your tone to those words. And if I feel like you're coming at me, well, then guess what? The tone that I'm going to have, that I'm going to imagine you're having, is also going to be in like that accusatory tone.
Yeah.
So how you do it is important. Right? If it's a tough conversation, we don't need to be doing that over text message. We don't need to be doing it over email. There needs to be a phone call or a face-to-face.
Yeah.
And then the prefacing, which you stated earlier, I think is also extremely important. So that way we're going into this with the best intentions and the best belief in each other. And then
And
we
not
can have,
blindsided.
you're not blindsiding them. And I could even say in my intention, I don't want this to be something that separates us or causes us to have a rift in our relationship. However, this is what's on my mind. This is what,
I love that.
and Brené Brown has a really great technique that I've used in the past that I feel works, is the story I'm telling myself is. And that's, remember how we said that if you don't get the answer, that with the mind makes it up? So I'm
Yeah.
aware that my mind is making it up. So therefore, the story I'm telling myself is. And
Mhm.
then I can say whatever else comes after that. So that way, you know that I am acknowledging that this may not be a fact.
Right.
However, this is the story that I've been telling myself.
I love that. I'm definitely gonna start using that. And I wanted to add to the prefacing and how you do it is leading with compassion, leading with respect, and with kindness, even if it's a conversation that may not be an easy conversation. And I'll give an example. Like, I'm a real estate investor and we are dealing with distressed properties or distressed individuals. And some of these individuals may be in pre foreclosure.
Mhm.
And so when I start the conversation with these individuals, and because these are difficult conversations to have, these people are losing their house, they're definitely going to be on the defensive. If you call them talking about, oh, my house in foreclosure, what you mean? Because they may be embarrassed, they may be ashamed. Who, again, how I begin that conversation is very important. How my assistants start the conversation when they're making calls is very important. And I always say, lead with compassion. Put yourself in that person's shoes and begin the conversation with kindness and respect, with empathy, sympathy, with whatever you need to do. I think that's most important because it kind of helps. It kind of helps. What's the word when you're trying to, when there's a hostile situation and you're trying to relax it before you go into it? It's not deflate. I can't think of the word
De-escalate.
now. Disarm, de-escalate.
Yeah.
But also, if it does escalate, because we are human.
Yeah.
We are human. I think it's like,
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm going to lead with kindness and I'm a whoop-de-whoop. And then somebody say something.
And now,
And
you know, run
they
out
say
the
the wrong
monster.
I think it's important to have these things established because they talk about this in relationship therapy all the time, is don't ever go below the belt.
Yeah.
Don't ever hit below the belt, knowing what that is. Don't intentionally push the button that you know is the button. You know
Have
the
we
button.
not talked about that?
Don't push that button because now they done made you mad. Now you're like, oh, I'm going to make you mad.
Yeah.
Right? And I think I hear this a lot about not going to bed angry and creating some resolution before going to bed. And I think that's an important bridge between impacting intimacy and connection is, okay, we can go through this. We can go through the fire. We come on the other side with either mutual understanding, respect, or agree to disagree. And then not taking that to bed and then the silent treatment and then the cold shoulder for a week. Now, I don't know how evolved you have to be like the same night. But don't let it.
I'm not there. You already know. You already know that is not where I'm not that evolved. That it's all like I'm willing.
The same day.
I'm willing to do it in the same night, but I'm also realistic enough to know that it's highly possible that this will not be resolved.
Yeah. And not resolved, just the anger part. Yeah.
The issue I have is the blatant disregard that there is an issue after on day 2. Go back to life issues.
We just gonna act that didn't just, we just gonna, and you and I talked about this, we need time just to process, really. Just let me, it take a minute sometimes, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gotta be big mad, but leave me alone.
Right. But if I am big mad, I may have to walk it off, right? And that walk may be 4 to 8 miles because it's been 8 miles in the past. Like you've seen it be 8 miles in the past before. You went with me on 4 of those miles.
Exactly. So,
but you know, you're the one who said that was okay. Better to do that than
walk
to
it off.
Continue with the escalation, you know. And even a kid has said, you know, hey, at least you left. At least you left. And that was the de-escalations. Well,
and you came back because you could have kept walking.
I mean, all my stuff is here.
Listen, you don't know how many times when I was married where there would be a challenge, an argument, disagreement, and I would imagine I would get in my car with a full tank of gas and I would drive until I ran out of gas.
Clothes on your back.
And wherever I landed, that was going to be my new life. I would imagine, I'm talking about leaving the kids, the husband, the house, the dogs.
Just gone. And apparently, men have been doing that for a century.
They actually do it. Daddy left, ain't never came back. I feel daddy sometimes.
He may not even been kind enough to call and say he ain't coming back.
He just, you don't know how many times I would imagine that. And I don't know if that gave me some solace, like it was the actual physical walking out or the mental, because I would mentally check out as well.
Yeah.
But it it forced me to, not force, but it did allow me to come back and think. And I think gratitude is important too, when you're in situations like that, because it's easy to start thinking about what you don't like, what you're not getting. But being able to find space in your heart and mind, be like, okay, well, why am I here? What's important to me? What do I like about being here? And how does it serve me? And kind of like shifting, social sessions, shifting the mindset from what I'm not getting, what I don't like, and how this person's talking to me, to like, okay, overall, because it may be there's not even a shift. You can't even think of anything that they're doing for you, to you, that's good for you. And then that's a whole nother conversation that maybe it's time to exit too.
Possibly. Yeah, I would also add that there is this, during the good times,
Yeah.
acknowledging, and acknowledging is not the right word, but you mentioned
Celebrating?
gratitude. You mentioned gratitude. And what I'm saying
Yeah.
is being present to the thing that you're grateful for in the moment that it happens. So for example, when like my kids, even though they're teenagers, they still like me, and they're still affectionate, like they still want
Yeah.
hugs and things like that. And like being grateful for those moments when I get the hugs and the I love yous, and like actually not allowing that to just pass up here.
Mm.
Like I
Yeah.
actually, like, why would I ever want to give that up? Like having those
Yeah.
type of conversations. And even when like yesterday, my youngest, she passed her test for her permit. Oh, I said that's my oldest,
Yeah.
passed the test for her permit. And I started cooking, and she like breaks the ground meat really well in the pot, to the point now I'm just like, I just have a spatula in there and I call her and I'm like, and
That's your job.
she was like, do I, like, you want me to, I'm like, yeah. I'm like, cause you do it so well. Right. And I
Yeah.
was actually being genuine, like you do that aspect of cooking really well. And
Yeah.
she, well, then if that's the case, then I'm gonna make sure. You like, now she's empowered.
You validated.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
because she's like, and she said something along the lines of, um, I, she was shocked that I said that she does it really well, and
Mm.
that also had her in a place called like, well, I think the reason why I do it well is because I don't want to disappoint you, and
Mm.
let me tell you, I know how that feels. So I'm gonna make sure I
Yeah.
tell you how good of a job you're doing, because I know what it's like to want to do a good job and not want to F it up when it's someone
Yeah.
else's thing. And then when you don't F it up, they don't necessarily say, hey, like, you really did a good job on this. They kind of like expect it and they keep it moving, And so
Yeah.
whatever that you want that acknowledgement, but you're not necessarily getting that acknowledgement. I don't need it, but that doesn't mean I don't want it. And so when I saw that, I'm like, look, I want you to make sure you know that I call you in here to do this because you do it so well, better than me.
Mhm.
And I wasn't blowing smoke,
I love that.
like that was a
Yeah.
real thing. And then she goes, you know why I think you're such a good parent? Because you didn't forget what it was like to be our age.
Aw.
But like, who said I'm not supposed, right? Like I'm still
Right, exactly. Like,
I'm
I'm still
trying to figure this out. Like in my head, I'm still that kid. I'm to figure this.
that kid is still there. That's why I can relate so much and
Yeah,
connect with you.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
I definitely can relate to that as well. Because with my grandbaby, I feel like I'm just like, my inner child is connecting with her on so many levels
yeah,
and allowing that relationship. Whereas with my daughter, I felt like that thing you speak about is like, oh, you got to grow up. You got to take everything so seriously. Like, I felt like I was like that with my daughter. I had to cut off anything that was playful, anything that was unserious, anything that was
Because you got to
childlike. I
prepare her
had
for
to
this
be
world.
right. I got to be the adult and this and that. And that's not the best way, the best approach. And I discovered that
Yes.
after the fact. And so with my grandbaby, is like, man, some of the conversations me and my granddaughter have, I'm like, I can't believe I'm having this conversation with a child. Like it's
It's a
like
risk
my
that
brain
to
is
do over, isn't it? Like
it really is. And I love that for us. Someone on the outside looking, especially old school, because old school is what put that in us. No, you
right.
a child stay in a child place and you don't.
And
They
it had
really
to be back then. It had to be back
yeah,
then.
yeah,
Like the
yeah,
things that our parents were dealing with back in those days were
yeah,
different than the things we're dealing with now. They still
yeah,
had to deal with civil rights. We do as
yeah.
well, but not at the
Segregation,
degree in which
yeah,
like they had the fire department on them. They had dogs sick on
yeah.
them
So you had to train your kids to behave a certain way,
to
and
be
yeah,
ready for
you didn't
that.
have the luxury.
They
Yeah,
didn't know that we weren't going to have to deal with the fire department and German Shepherds. They didn't know that.
yeah.
So they
They're teaching
have
us
to
to
raise them
survive.
pretty wet. Yeah, to survive, in this
Yeah,
country. So
yeah.
it's only natural that if that's how you came up, that you would do the same to your kid
Your child, yeah,
because,
for
that
protection.
you're trying to protect them. So then when the
Yeah,
grandbaby comes along, it's like all the mistakes I made with my kid, I ain't gonna make them with you.
I ain't gonna make it with you. That was the blueprint. Like I got it now. I got it now. Like I am, yeah. Like I am, and also too. Oh, I cannot think of this name. This lady name. I don't think it's Brené Brown. It's someone else. It's Mel something. You know what I'm talking about? Mel Mel. I can't think of her name. I'm jacking it up, but she has someone on
Mel
her
Robbins?
podcast. Yes,
Okay.
Mel Robbins. She has someone on her podcast, and the guy was talking about every child gets a different parent.
Yeah.
Every child. And because depending on when you had that child, like you are not the same version of yourself. And so naturally, my granddaughter would get a different type of parent than like I'm a different grandparent than I was a parent because of, I'm a different person. I've learned so much, I evolved so much. My temperament is different, and her temperament is different than my daughter's temperament. So it's a different version, as it should and as it, should be in that sense. So you have to factor that in as well, like the relationships we have, because it's depending on when we have those relationships. So yeah, I
Yep.
think that kind of speaks to that. We're gonna go down to the raunchy, the ratchet and raunchy. I'm gonna ask this one.
We only have time for one more. So
Okay, which one we
choose
choosing? You
wisely.
give me the number.
No, you just deal with wherever the spirit guides you, wherever it guides you, except that one.
Considering that you know me so well. All right, I'm a.
We're not doing that one.
Okay, I'll just say cloud nine, baby, cloud nine.
Which
How
number
do
did I say?
I
Which number was I talking about? What number was I talking about?
15?
No, I actually wasn't talking about that one, but I actually was.
What you talking about?
I was talking about 12, but I also didn't get down to 15 in my reading, so I didn't get that far. But 15 too, yeah. Now
That's where I was going.
now the audience is like, well, damn, what is 15? Like, I'm gonna tell you right now.
Okay, put in the comment section if you want to know what 15 is. Like, we're
So
not
we're
going to read it today, but
because I was gonna say if you do 15, my answer is I don't know. That was gonna be my answer.
put in the comment section, Soul Shifters section, if you want to know what 15 is. And we'll do a poll. And depending on that poll,
Yeah.
That'll determine if we bring that up in the
Yeah,
next.
we'll put that on social media. We'll put that poll is, do you want to know what 15 is?
Do you want to know what 15 from season 2, episode 19? All right, so I'm going to go with 7.
Oh, that's not even in the category. But
I-
it is kind of, but it's not in the same section.
It's bridging the gap.
Yeah.
It bridges the gap.
Yeah.
It bridged the gaps.
Yeah.
It's safe. Because I was going to 15.
Yeah.
How do I communicate that I'm no longer fulfilled sexually without hurting my partner's feelings?
I want to say I don't know. I want to say I don't know. But I'm going to defer. And then I'm going to see if what you say sparks something in me as a response. So the ball is in your
Okay, my first thing is what do you want to see? No, I'm saying you have to, this is going to help you answer the question.
Okay.
Right?
All right. I'm ready.
And so what do you hope to gain as a result of asking this question? And what I mean is, are you saying you're like, hey, you're not fulfilling me sexually, can we try? Or are you saying, you know what, you're not fulfilling me sexually and we ain't got no solution? Because I'm a solution-oriented person.
We're going A. Because B is easy.
Okay.
I'm out. B is easy. It's an easy answer. If it's B, I'm out. We're going A.
Okay. I keep it super simple. No. Because this is hard. I think we can lead that without saying you're not fulfilling me sexually. We can go with, hey, can we try different things?
I need you to get out of my head. I need you to, what's up here is private.
Like I was wondering if we can try and in that way you're not defective. But they got this whole thing on social media where they say talk me through it. Right? And it's like when you're in the act and talking your partner through the things in such a way where it's not like do this, do that. It's like, you know what I mean? Like I like that talk me through it challenge.
Yeah.
And I also like the, what you think about this? Like, it just kind of like in a fun, flirty way. I feel like this is easier for women than it is for men. I don't know.
I'm in agreement about the in the midst of, but I think that if you want to, we cannot get there just yet, then I think prior to, if I, hey, next time, what do you think about not only trying some new things, like obviously that can lead to what kind of new things you're talking about, but while we're out there, let's be more playful and let's be experimental while we're in there. But ultimately, let's have fun, but at a different level kind of fun. And so that way, I feel like if you can have a conversation kind of like around that, then when you actually get behind those closed doors, there's not this expectation to do it the way we've always done it. And it's this expectation to perform in some grandiose way. It's like, let's try this. Let's try that. Let's go, hey, do you want to go in this position? Do you want to? And like, these are suggestions of things that we may not have done before. We hadn't done them before, because if we had done them before, we already know that they're either work or don't work, right? So having that conversation, like, hey, let's try this. Let's try. Turn over. Let's go here. And in an exploratory fashion and tone. I just want to try this out and see how it feels, you know? I think that is a non-invasive way of exploring. And it's just, let's just have some fun.
Yeah, in this beginning, beginning the conversation, especially depending on where you are sexually and what you guys have done, because you don't want to introduce something so far left to what you guys been doing, but but that may be your desire, but like baby step people
Let's
into
work
that.
our way to that, right? Let's work our way to that, you know?
And so we get close to it doesn't seem so far fetched. Like what the world,
Right.
you know?
I mean, it would be
And
nice if both parties could be exploratory in that regard. Like, put it this way, if I know that you have a collection of things in the drawer, but we've
yeah,
never used those things, I might be like, hey,
together.
why don't you break out that
Exactly. That thing, that do that thing, that do
why
the
don't you break
thing.
out that thing that that you have in the drawer that we've never talked about, or let's
I
break that
know it's
out.
there.
I know it's
Let's
there.
bring
Let's
that
break it out and
out.
see what
Let's
you create with that.
exactly.
Keep,
Like I think,
but
yeah,
keeping playful, keeping it fun, and I think that if it's playful and it's fun, there's no room for egos.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I think like especially like from the woman's standpoint is being fun, being flirty, being feminine, and it can start with, a simple message. And like I say, these are things you may not even have done before, but just kind of like slowly starting the conversation, slowly introducing things into, because I think sometimes, especially if you're with somebody for a long time, it may just be boring because it becomes a routine. It just becomes like, oh, something we do. And it's just the nature of it because like we're busy. We got kids, we got
Yeah.
the job, we got our businesses. It's like, okay, but breaking that monotony up, and it don't even have to be anything so like out there grandiose. It could just be like,
Let's go get a hotel and say F these kids for the night, and let's
or we out to dinner and we're in the car. He's like, you know what? Let's get in the back seat. Like we just random. Like let's just
let's go.
park the car over there and just. Oh, role playing. Role playing is a good one too. Let's like, introducing something like that and saying, hey,
And
whatever
if
we
you
do
could
for a
role play
job.
throughout the
Yes,
that
like
could be
yeah, especially like if say for instance, whatever your job is, like, if I'm a CEO and it's like, hey, you want to be my intern, or something, like naughty intern, like naughty scientist, and I don't know,
right.
assistant, like take kind of what you already do and just kind of make it again fun, flirty, and not judgmental because you got to think if people are performing or whatever the case may be, or they thinking they're doing something and you tell them they're not, that can really impact them mentally and physically. So you don't want that because you don't want to be awkward and weird,
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Let's try something a little different this time.
yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure.
And
Good answer, good
I don't
answer.
know I don't know if that even requires, or if that even garners the question of like, well, why you want to do something different? I don't even think that comes up. You say like, let's try something a little than the normal routine.
What if they did though? I would.
Why couldn't you just agree with me and say yeah, and then we could be all
Now we're fighting. Now we're arguing. What you mean? Why? Like I just was asking, you know what I mean? Why you got to be like that? Like
So
now,
how I would
not
say that is we typically do same routine, like it's kind of routine. I want to see what it's like, not be.
routine.
I was
Look at you all evolved. You all evolved.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
communication is key. Gotta use our words.
Use our words. Use your words
Use our
in a
words.
kind, compassionate, respectful way.
All those.
I love this. I love this. This was fun. This was fun. Answer the question. Remember, put in the comment section if you want to
Do you
know
want to
what
know what
15.
15 is? Do you want to know? I'm gonna tell you
Yes.
right now. You all want to know what 15 is, but you have to ask.
You already say you ain't got the answer. I want you to start thinking about your answer just in case the people want to.
Come up with an answer.
We both got to have an answer. Yes. Yes.
All right. I may have to go talk. I may have to go practice this one, like
In real life, like
in real life. Like,
wifey,
I need to have this conversation because I'm supposed to have an answer. So I got to practice.
right, like for research purposes, honey, if I wanted to, how would I
How would
present
I
that to you? Respectfully.
respectfully,
Respectfully.
be respectfully too. I actually may do this. I may.
Listen, it's for research and
Yeah.
development purposes.
I don't know how that's. If I get in any kind of trouble, you say, I'm coming to you.
What kind of trouble? Are we talking about trouble or
Just
trouble?
like trouble. Like if I'm in that kind of trouble, I'm coming to you. Don't like see what you did. You see what
You never know. You never know. You may be like, well, dang.
do you see what you just did? Now I'm all in trouble. Now we over here beefing because of you, right? So,
Or it could go the other way.
I highly doubt it.
And you were like, oh, I didn't expect it.
I did not expect it. Oh,
You never know. Now I'm fully invested. Now you have to, because now I need 15.
her question is, not only do I want to know what 15 is, the question is, did Coach Sidekick actually try this?
Do the research and development that he was supposed to
do.
do.
Research that he said
Exactly.
he was going to do prior to this, or did he chicken out? Right.
Exactly.
And by the way,
Exactly.
gang, there is a high probability that I will. I'm just letting y'all know. Possible. Out.
Don't chicken out.
I'm just saying.
Come
It's
on.
possible.
It's not for real. You're just doing it for research.
I get that. You know that. I know that. They know that. We're the only ones who know that.
Who knows? They don't even know the question. So yeah,
But they
that's
know
hilarious.
that they know that it's for research purposes.
It's for research and
only.
development.
They know.
Yeah. I love it. Any final words, Coach Kyle, for this podcast today?
Oh my gosh. Do I have any final word? Yes. Here is my final word. And it's a quote, but it's not a quote that I actually prepared for. And it is, everything is communicated. Everything.
Everything.
I didn't say
love
easy
that.
or hard, but everything is communicatable.
I love that. I love that. Of course, guys, if you know anyone that needs a soul shift, please share our podcast. We always say that, we're on this pathway of growing our platform to make more of an impact. So if you're listening to the sound of our voice, we would appreciate you commenting, and following our channel, and also following us on Instagram and joining the tribe again at www.soulshiftsessions.com. Everything is communicatable. And with that, guys, always remember to let your soul glow. Until next time, be great.